Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Fat Katz Podcast. I'm co-host Ward Sewell, joined by other co-host Cam Taylor, and we do want to start out by saying congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. 2023-2024 college football national champions. Cam, I don't think there was a team in college football more deserving than those Wolverines. They earned it. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, I think the best team won. And I think the second best team probably didn't get into the playoffs. But
Yeah.
I want to congrats John Harbaugh. You know I'm always been a big Harbaugh guy, not his
Second
brother.
best team in Florida State, right?
Yeah. But yeah, congrats to those guys. Hell of a ride, a lot of ups and downs this season. But yeah, man, that was the most deserving team to win a national championship in my mind.
Yeah, and I don't want to poop on anybody's parade, but Cam, let's go ahead and what a boring game.
Oh, it
What
was
a
awful.
boring game. Washington, I did think we were going to see a little more fireworks. I'm not going to lie. I know you guys. There was a couple penalties that held you back left and right. I don't think anybody didn't expect Michigan to come out and play 1980s football and run the ball absolutely down your throat. I think Michigan had 3 running backs score touchdowns. Correct?
I think they had 2 score twice, is what it
Okay.
was.
They had 2 score twice. Well, anyway, you don't see you don't see smash mouth football like that anymore, man. And that's just showing the Big Ten, the big dogs up front. That number 77 for Michigan is a hoss. Cam, it looks like you with a bunch of tattoos. That boy is a
Dude,
freaking hoss, man.
I've been telling people since the beginning of the season. Obviously, Zinter got hurt, but they have 8 guys. If they came out, they would get
That kid
drafted.
is a stud. Well, not kid, he's probably our age, but he's a stud. And you
They've
see
got
him every time you see the captains walk out, and there's him, and then I can't remember the running back's name, but standing left side by side. I'm like, holy shit, that's a big
yeah,
boy. But
Blake Corum. Yeah, he had
Blake
a
Corum, he's a ball player, man. But I know, we're kind of jumping off script a little bit, Cam. I do think we did see Harbaugh's last game coaching at Michigan.
It's very possible. I mean, you don't see the walk off national championship very often, but
No,
he's been basically begging to get into the NFL the past 3 off seasons. So
yeah.
I think this might be the one that finally gets him up, especially with the pending
Oh, yeah.
issues over top of Michigan football right now.
But something that I'm no Michigan football fan, and I know I might get a lot of hate for saying this, but something I have so much respect for in Michigan is those guys. You can tell when they play Ohio State, when they played Alabama, when they played Washington, they don't play for the names on the back of their jerseys. They're playing for something bigger. They're playing for their school. There's so much pride in those players. They're all they're doing is giving praise to the university, giving praise to their coach, really their coach. But I mean, they're playing for each other, man, and you love to see that. You really don't see it much anymore, especially in today's age with the transfer portal and everybody just trying to get in, do their time, and get out. Michigan was a different kind of ball team this year. So, no long intro, Cam, but shout out to the Michigan Wolverines, and I do want you to tell me your crazy statistic about
Crazy statistic.
you told me something crazy that this is the first or the second time in like 10 years about an SEC team.
Oh, this is the second time in the past 17 years I think that a SEC team hasn't won the national championship. Something like
Which is
that.
absolutely insane. Is it
Also,
won or been in a national championship?
I think one. I think
That
well, no. Totally wrong stat. Excuse me. This is the first time in 17 years that a team south of the Mason-Dixon line hasn't won the national championship.
absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Absolutely insane. Cam, sorry to put you on the spot. I just thought of it. I knew our listeners wanted to
dude, I
hear that.
got I got 40,000 stats going through this one. I just had to pull the right one.
The big dog, the big stat guy over here. But no, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 38. Cam, I will pass the ball off to you here, but we're so glad you guys are here, and we have a show coming up for you.
Yeah, man. Excited. Second show of the new year, episode 38. Good luck getting your guys' first favorite forgotten here in a few minutes. But today's the 10th of January. I want to remind everybody, find us on Spotify and YouTube. Just type in the Fat Katz Podcast. That's Katz. Leave comments, subscribe, all that stuff. As Ward says, unsubscribe, resubscribe.
Unsubscribe,
Find us on
resubscribe.
Find us on Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod, man. We got a heck of a show for you guys. Last college football podcast until
Yeah.
till fall or maybe spring. We'll do a transfer portal episode, but last college football for a little bit. But as we get into it, episode 38. For those of you who are new, first favorite and forgotten. First guy that comes to mind that wore 38, your favorite athlete to wear 38, and some guy you think is forgotten or maybe doesn't get enough respect that wore number 38. Ward, I'm going to let you take us off here with our first favorite and forgotten.
Well, you said this is our last college football podcast, man. I started reminiscing a little bit. I'm getting a little sad. I guess, after football season, we have a ton to talk about. After football season, it looks like there's gonna be a lot of draft going on, Cam.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, man, give me my first. Cam, thanks for explaining first favorite forgotten. My first is gonna be George Rogers, Redskins legend.
Yep. Spoiler alert, you'll be hearing that one later. The first guy that came to my mind, funny enough, 2009-2010 Pistons team, Kwame Brown.
I like it.
Don't hear that name thrown around too often unless it's Stephen A. But yeah, Kwame Brown, funny enough, first guy to come to mind.
Kwame Brown, he's the one that goes on and roasts everybody on he's the one that called John Morant NBA dumb boy. He is pretty funny, and you hear there is a story about him too going after Derek Fisher is now married to one of his former teammates, his ex-wife.
Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes. You want to hear something funny, ladies and gentlemen? Go on YouTube right now and click in Kwame Brown, Matt Barnes, and just listen to them go back and forth at each other. Very funny segment. Don't listen to it around children because it is rated R. So anyway, my favorite this week in our first favorite forgotten segment is going to be John Brennan, JB, Washington. God, can't talk today. Western Carolina legend. He had a stint there for the Cincinnati Bengals, where he was on that team that went to the Super Bowl, and he also had a stint with the Los Angeles Chargers, and now he is in the XFL. So JB, big friend of the program, favorite 38.
Yeah, always get friend of the programs in there. Shout out JB, Western Carolina alum. My favorite 38 here, Ward, former Steeler, former Pack, Jalen Samuels. Played tight end, running back, receiver for both of us, and he wore 38 for the Steelers, and felt like every time that James Conner got hurt, this was our running back too. So shout out Jalen Samuels, another friend of the program.
Yep, and I will say I've been to 2 Steelers games in Pittsburgh, and in one of the games I went to, James Conner was hurt. Jalen Samuels was the main guy, and it was awesome seeing him play. So
against the Patriots, correct?
Against the Patriots, yeah. What did I say?
No, you didn't say
I thought I was word vomiting. Yeah, I went and saw him twice, 2 years in a row. It was me and Cam's senior year of high school and our freshman year of college. Got to see him play the Patriots, and I will say, I'm not sure if anybody has any Tom Brady stories. That guy, him and Gronk together playing live, it's a pretty cool sight to see. It's just everything around it, all the fans he brings in. But anyway, my forgotten this week, Cam, is going to be former Patriot Brandon Bolden.
Yeah, love it. And then I said there was going to be another George Rogers. Here's where he comes in. I think he's forgotten. Obviously, he played for the at that time the Redskins. So that was why Ward had him first. Yeah. But also played in New Orleans. And my thing for forgotten is I don't think people realize he's probably the best player to ever play at South Carolina, University of South Carolina. One of the few guys to have his number retired at South Carolina. So huge up to George Rogers, a guy that we obviously never got to watch, Ward, but his resume precedes him, and what he's done for the sport has been great.
Good for you, Big George.
As we move into our next segment, got some exciting news, Ward. Here pretty soon, I believe that Weekly Game Balls will be a sponsored segment here on
Really nice.
Okay. We're going to keep it on the low with who and what, but that's pretty exciting news. I don't know if for the listeners as much, but for me and you, as much work have we put into this show to get a segment sponsored is a pretty cool deal. But Weekly Game Balls, Ward, I'm going to start us out. Andre Curbelo started his career at Illinois, was a 4-star point guard, had a year stint in St. John's, now playing for Southern Miss, one of the most fun and electric basketball players in college basketball. But he was the first Southern Miss player to record a triple-double since 1980. So shout out Curbo.
Where did you say he went to school? You cut out for a sec.
Yeah, he started at Illinois, then a year at St. John's, and he's now at Southern Miss.
Nice. Okay. Congratulations, Andre. My first game ball this week is actually going to go to the North Carolina State Wolfpack basketball team, men's basketball team. The boys went up to Virginia this week and put a hurting on them. And anybody forgets about Virginia, they did win a national championship a couple years ago. Put a hurting on them. We were actually a 10-point dog in that game. Came out and won. The boys are now 11-3, coming into a huge matchup tonight against those little boys over there in Carter Finley West, Chapel Hill, which nobody really likes those guys anyway. But yeah, man, shout out to the Wolfpack.
Yep. First time in a long time I've only had 2 game balls. Second game ball going out to Big Blue Nation for 2 separate events though. Played in Florida on last Saturday, beat them on the road, and at the end of the game you heard "Go Big Blue" chants coming through the broadcast. No reason that the away team should be getting their chants going through the broadcast. BBN always shows up. In the second ward, we've got a guy on our team. He's from Serbia. His name is Zvonimir Avicic.
What a name.
They just call him Big Z for short. But he hasn't been cleared by the NCAA award. It's almost over halfway through the season. Conference play started. The guy still hasn't gotten eligible. Kentucky fans raised $3,800, Ward, to put up a billboard outside of the NCAA offices that says "Free Big Z" from Big Blue Nation. So every time anybody that works for the NCAA drives into work, they will be seeing a "Free Big Z" poster on their way to work.
That's cool. That's awesome. And hey, also, we did not get this shout out. Shout out to the Kentucky Wildcats. The boys are ranked, 6, correct, Cam?
Yes, sir.
So the boys are ranked 6. Congratulations to the Kentucky Wildcats. Did want to give my shout out there. But yeah, man, my next game ball, I'll sum it up really quickly. Michigan run game, already said, why. They had 4 touchdowns running the ball. And then Jim Harbaugh again, he finally got it done. His dad has won a championship. His brother's won a championship. He can now, as he said, finally sit at the big table. So congratulations, Jim. Congratulations, Michigan. And Cam, let's move into it, brother.
Yeah, don't forget Jay Harbaugh in that discussion as well, special teams coordinator for the Michigan Wolverines. So he gets to sit at the big table too now. But let's keep it in Michigan-Washington, Ward. Just your overall breakdown of the game. I know many thought it was a pretty boring football game, but it was better than the 63-3 or whatever we saw with TCU. So first thoughts on the game, and then obviously we'll get into Harbaugh talk of what we think is next for him.
Yeah, man. So I'm not one to call people out, but the big dog or the big man up front for Washington, that right tackle, he hurt the boys pretty bad. He had 5 total penalties in that game. He was getting torched by Michigan. And, Cam, a lot of people forget this game with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. This was a 1-touchdown game, and Washington had the ball on their 30-yard line. Or I'm sorry, on their 40-yard line. They were right out of field goal range. They had a dagger play. They had like a 30-yard pass on the right-hand sideline. Great play. Michael Penix looked good. And then that tackle had a false start, or he had a holding, brought the call back. But no, man, it's just, there you could definitely tell that Washington did not belong on the same ball field as Michigan, just talent-wise. Also didn't think Michael Penix looked too good. Michael Penix, I haven't watched him play too much. And I will say, I think Michael Penix was absolutely a Heisman contender, but he plays at 11 p.m. EST. We're asleep by 11 p.m. EST usually, Cam. We're old now. But no, man, I didn't think Michael Penix really didn't impress me as much. The Washington offense really didn't impress me too much. And that Michigan defense, Big Ten, it just showed the level of Big Ten defense. You got to have defense win championships, Cam.
Yeah, I agree. Michael Penix, man, he got beat to death. And to your point about the right tackle, freshman, he was on the all-freshman team this season, but on the biggest stage, it felt like it kind of collapsed for him. And it felt like every time they had a play that they needed, it got negated for some reason. Or if Penix got sacked or got hit, it was usually on the right tackle. But, you just got to take that opportunity and bounce back. But to your point, Michigan, like that was smash mouth. We're better than you. You know what we're going to do, but you can't stop it kind of football.
Yep.
And that's what I grew up watching, being a Steelers fan. And that's the kind of ball I love. But I said before the game, I thought Washington had a chance to win the game.
Yep.
And the reason was because I didn't think that Michigan had the skill players to dominate I knew they had the trenches locked up easily, but I think we saw that. Like, that shouldn't have been a close game, and it was. One, because of quarterback play, and two, I don't think outside of 3 or 4 players on Michigan's team, they don't have the skill depth of like a Georgia or Alabama has year in and year out, Ohio State even. So, great matchup. Again, I don't want to take anything from Michigan. They played the brand of football I like, the brand of football I watch on Sundays right now. So, again, shout out to Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh, excuse me. Which one is it?
Jim.
Jim. Okay, I get him so confused.
I do too, dude. That's why I just say Harbaugh.
Yeah,
I
shout out
don't name
Jim.
butcher.
And
but Cam, right here, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
just one last thing. When you think Harbaugh, you think culture, man. And Michigan has that, and hopefully the next guy, if he does leave, can keep that culture going.
Harbaugh, the boys need some culture right now. So, but anyway, Cam, I did want to ask you: do you think the best team in college football won the national championship? Yes or no?
Yes.
There's a team.
Yes.
There's a team that wears red and black about 120 miles south of you, Cam. Southwest.
Yeah.
Southwest of you.
Yeah, and I think maybe talent-wise they had the better team, but take care of business and we find out.
Yep.
Don't lose Alabama in the SEC championship, and we find out who the best team is. So, I think by a razor thin margin, the best team won.
I would have loved to see that game, but I'm just going to go out and say yes. I do think the best team in college football won the national championship. As you remember, that Minnesota head coach came out beginning of this year after playing Michigan and said, "I've been coaching for however many years. It's the greatest. This is the best football team I've ever seen."
Yeah, and fourth team in the college football playoff history to finish the season 15-0.
That's awesome.
Yep, and I think it's Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, and now Michigan joins the group. So, congrats to them again. I mean, people saying greatest college football team of all time. Also LSU in that category. I forgot them.
Yeah.
Greatest college football team of all time. We could pump the brakes on that, but really good season, man.
Yeah, and hey, this is completely off topic, Cam, but it's not really too much breaking news. Washington Commanders came out with their playoffs for the 2024 or their God, I can't talk. Their opponents for the 2024 season. And Cam, I don't have a date yet, but that ugly brown hat you got on, my friend, they're coming to DC, baby. The boys are coming to DC. Finally.
So I'm already playing.
The last time we played, one of us was 11-0, and one of us got beat. I'm not going to say which team that was, but we've never been undefeated.
But yeah, I mean, we'll make a trip on that. We'll do Fat Katz from DC for sure.
I've
already got 3 trips lined up next year to watch the Steelers. By the way, they play in Atlanta, so I'll be there.
That.
They play in Vegas.
No, you got it. That would be a fun one.
And then now that I know we're in DC, yeah, I mean, a lot of road trips for next year.
Yeah, we go. My girlfriend Madison and I, we go on one road trip every year, and right now we do play the Saints in New Orleans. That's the first one that catches my eye. Your boy may be down in New Orleans eating some gumbo and partying and watching the Saints play.
Yeah, man, New Orleans is not a bad spot to land at. I pray year in and year out that the Kentucky Wildcats make it to the Sugar Bowl so I can go down to New Orleans for New Year's Eve. It just hasn't happened yet. But I'm hoping before, I'm out of commission on the party and that it can happen.
Yeah.
But NFL news real quick. We got 4 coaches fired in the past couple of days. Pete Carroll today, right before we got onward, was informed that he would not be the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks anymore. They want to keep him in an administrative role, but
don't see that happening.
He's like 75 years old. I think, maybe just call it a career. Your boy, Riverboat Ron, finally got the kibosh there in Washington. Unfortunately, finishes with an all-time losing record by 1 game. Any thoughts on Riverboat Ron?
Ron, I really respect him as a guy. He's a player's coach. People want to play for him, but man, he just at the end of the day, he plays an old style of football. This isn't the 80s anymore. You can't play. You got to have a gunslinger on offense. You just got. I don't know. I mean, Ron, it was a great run. It just all things do have to come to an end. At the end of the day, you won 4 games this year. You took this team over 4 years ago, and you have lost 13 more games than you won. And yeah, I mean, you can blame it on a lot of stuff. Ron's a hell of a guy. I respect the hell out of him, but it is time for us to make a change.
Yep. If there's a Hall of Fame for great men in football, he'd make
Yeah.
it.
What change we're gonna make? I wish I could tell you, Cam. Usually, I have an idea of what direction we're gonna go in. I have no idea. I can tell you that we're not gonna go. We're not gonna move forward with Eric Bieniemy. I don't think that
Okay.
he did enough to. And from some of the inside sources I follow in Washington, he did not do enough to get that head coaching job with us. Yeah, man. I know right now the front runner is that Lions OC. I
Okay.
really like the idea of Mike Vrabel. I would love to have Mike
Yep.
Vrabel. Jim Harbaugh's name is getting thrown around too. I don't really care too much about Jim Harbaugh, but he'd be a cool guy. He's a culture guy, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Could be the starter.
Vrabel. I think everybody that has a head coaching vacancy is going to give that guy a call.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can't believe the Titans got rid of him. I really can't. He might be the best coach on the free market that I can remember in a long time.
yeah.
I can't remember a better coach. But also Arthur Smith got the can in Atlanta. That was pretty well expected. He did have a kind of an event in week 18 here. I don't know if everybody saw this, but to frame it for you, Saints are up 41-7.
The Saints are kicking the hell out of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blowout. Tyrann Mathieu gets an interception, gets it down to the 1 yard line. Time's running out. Jameis Winston's in taking a snap, and victory formation. Looks like you're just going to run the clock out. Jabbo decides to hand it off to Jamal Williams to get his first touchdown of the season. And after the game, tempers flared, to say the least. Ward, before we get into the Saints side of it, I want to say Arthur Smith, dude. If you don't like it, stop him. You're coaching professional athletes. I don't care about running the score up, all the stop them if you don't want them to do it. Like, don't come onto midfield and start yelling at Dennis Allen. Like,
Yeah.
don't be a baby about it. Like, either stop them or tip your cap and say, hey, I'll remember that next time I see you.
Yeah. Yeah, Arthur Smith, man, good tenure or kind of he tried as a head coach, but Arthur Smith's a great coordinator. But yeah, man, and I will say, what's his name is on the way out. Both the running back and the quarterback, both Jameis Winston and Cam, I can't pronounce his name, or I can't think of his name. Running back Jamal Williams. They're both on the way out. I don't think either one of them are going to be in New Orleans next year. And Jamal Williams wanted a touchdown, man. Yeah, if you don't like it, stop it. I like to see it. I like to see a little bit. Everybody likes a little bit of drama in sports.
Yeah, and it's an in division game. Like this is an NFC South game. Like you don't take it easy on your in division opponents.
Hell no. Yeah, if you don't like it, stop it. Don't let them on the 2 yard line if you don't want them to score.
And on the Saints side, man, like if you're doing that, or Dennis Allen, excuse me, head coach of the Saints, like what does this say about you? You came out, the guys asked you if they could do it. You said no.
They did it anyway.
Then we're going to do it anyway. So you either got to get rid of Jameis, right, or you got to say, Dennis Allen, you lost the locker room, dog. You're out.
Yeah, but no, good for him, man. Saints didn't make the playoffs. No, they didn't because they didn't. But they weren't playing for anything. So
yeah, and we've talked. I think we talked about it last week. Rumors swirling about Bill Belichick not being back in New Orleans. I do have a funny story about this. I had two separate events.
New England.
My fault.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, whole thing. I had two separate events, Ward, where people sent me or friends graphics of a rumor that he was going to be the defensive coordinator at App State.
Yeah.
Said like, is this real? Like being serious. I want to say if you've done that, I want you to go and just go off. Probably don't talk about sports anymore. If you think Bill Belichick's going up to Boone, North Carolina to be the defensive coordinator for real,
if any one of our listeners think that Bill Belichick right now is going to Boone, North Carolina to be a DC at Appalachian State and not a non-Power 5 FBS college football team, go kick rocks. Do not go listen to another podcast. Do not listen to our podcast because you do not get facts from us.
Yeah, because we know more sport. No, I'm just kidding.
We know better than that. I mean, we may have some crazy takes and be dumbasses sometimes, but we know Bill Belichick, the greatest NFL coach ever, is not going to be a DC at a sub. Never mind.
In their defense, it was a very well put together graphic.
Yeah.
So some frat kid at App State is getting so like he's like, dude, look what so and so posted. But Yeah, that's all on football front, I believe. No, it's not. EA Sports tricked us on Monday Night
God,
War.
they did, didn't they?
We were supposed to see at EA Sports, NCAA football 2024, at least a release date, maybe a commercial. We didn't get it. It got to about halfway through the third quarter. Me and Novak looked at each other and like, dude, they tricked us. They got us to watch all these terrible commercials. Um, I'm still going to buy the game, but so
if
so
they,
on
if they,
par.
if the game goes on sale for $150, are you still buying it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I am too.
yeah. I mean, they could. I mean, there's a number. I think if you got up to
200.
if you got to 200, I'd be like, but if it's 199.99, I'm buying
Yeah.
that game. But yeah, so on par for EA though to trick us like that. And last thing of housekeeping before we get into our last college football segment of the year is John Morant out for the season, towards labrum ward, I believe.
Mhm.
You had the same
Yeah,
surgery.
it was his show. Yeah, he tore his labrum in his shoulder.
So hate that for him. Uh, Grizzlies full rebuild mode, hopefully now. But hate that for John.
Yeah.
Um, College football ward, as we kind of wrap it up here for the season, I want us to take a look back on Kentucky, NC State, and then just the overall thought on the college football season this year. I'll let you start with NC State. Um, Successful season, not successful season. Um, Things that stood out, whatever you think is worth mentioning on the recap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for a team that lost 18 starters the season before, their over under win total was set at 5.5. It's an extremely successful season. So for a team to come out with a new quarterback, all new wide receiver core, new running back, I mean, you name it, we came out with a new offensive line, new defense. Um, the boys got it done, man. We won nine games. We beat Clemson. We beat Carolina. Can't really ask for much of a better season than that, outside of a 10-win season. But college football in a whole, the ACC was down again. Not sure what's going on in the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference. I'm not sure what's going on. It's been a down conference ever since Clemson went downhill 2 years ago. So, yeah, man, I don't really know. For NC State, I'm really happy, and I'm really, really, really happy for NC State this offseason with the transfer portal class we're having. But no, man, very successful season for my boys. Cam, what about you?
Yeah, man. I would say this season as a whole for the Kentucky Wildcats was a disappointment. You finished 7-6, lose a game that you should have won to Clemson in the bowl game. Um, Again, I was told that Devin Leary was the best quarterback in the portal. Maybe a bad fit. Maybe he just kind of tricked us with that one season his
Hey,
junior
I
year.
didn't tell you that, by the way.
No, that was a national
Oh, I
consensus.
know. It was. He was the number one ranked quarterback.
Yeah,
Go
it
ahead.
was him and Sam Hartman were the
Yep.
two. You needed one of them, and we got one of them, and we won 7 games. So, if overall for Kentucky football, this is going to be a year of missed opportunity. You're up 17-0 in the first quarter at home against Missouri. You lose the football game. You've got two guys who are going to be draft picks at receiver. They lead the nation in drops. You've got a defense who is highly touted. They finished a top 25 defense for the past 8 or 9 seasons. One of the worst defenses in the SEC. So, and then to cap it off, Mark Stoops takes the A&M job, and then it falls through. So I think this is kind of as much of a disaster for Kentucky football to the standards now that it could have been. But again, there was a time when I was growing up where if we got 7 wins, man, like I was
Yeah.
excited. That was the best season of my life. Randall
Yeah.
Cobb, when he won 7 games, man, I thought that was as good as it got for Kentucky
Yeah.
football. And now that's the gutter. So that speaks to what a job that Mark Stoops has done. But all in all, pretty disappointing season. Got to get back on it. You've added some guys in the portal. Great recruiting class. Guys got to develop, but come back and in the new SEC, make a splash.
Yeah.
Overall, college football, my main thing with college football this year was the lack of quarterback play among the top teams, like Georgia, Carson Beck, not really impressive. Jalen Milroe came on at the end of the year, but last game we kind of saw, his what he can do and what he can't do. JJ McCarthy, probably one of the worst quarterbacks of a national championship team I can remember in a
Was
long time.
he was a Heisman finalist too, wasn't he? Was he
I
not?
don't think so.
I
I
don't
don't
know. He
believe so.
wasn't. He wasn't.
even like Caleb Williams at the end of the year, he kind of tailed off, like
Yep.
wasn't great. They lost a bunch of games. Your boy Drake May, who I know you love dearly, led his team to a 7-win season.
Yeah.
I mean, like the top teams, like besides Penix, obviously Penix was awesome, but the dude's 24 years old. This
Yep.
6-year college football. Bo Nix, 6-year college football. So
Yep.
I think the lack of great quarterback play this year is going to be something I always remember about this college football season.
No, you couldn't have said it any better, Cam. I can't agree with you more. I didn't think of it from that perspective. I cannot agree with you anymore. And yeah, man, it was a great season. I think the boys are happy.
This is the most parity I can remember in college football in a long time, though. There was probably six teams that if they would have got in, you would be like, okay. Probably three teams that could have won it. So it was a fun college football season, I thought, all in all.
The committee got it right.
Agreed. And if Jordan Travis is healthy, then Florida State should have got in.
Yep.
But
that's why we're so excited for this 12-team playoff.
Yeah, because now Florida State will get an opportunity to get beat 63-3 like they did in the bowl game to Georgia.
Yep.
Real quick before we go over, we'll go over last week first, and then Ward and I are going to share who we picked at the beginning of the season to finish first in each division and see where we left off and who did the best. But first off, Week 18 recap. Steelers get a must-win, 17-10 over the Ravens on Saturday. That put us in a position, Ward, where we needed either the Titans to beat the Jags or the Dolphins to beat the Bills. Thankfully for me, the Titans took care of business in the 1 o'clock slot.
Yep.
28-20 over the Jags in Jacksonville to get that to keep the Jags from getting a playoff spot.
What the hell happened to Jacksonville Jaguars?
Jaguars at one point only
6 weeks ago, they had a 99% chance to make the playoffs.
You know what happened, Ward? I can tell you the time it happened. They beat Pittsburgh, and that goofy white safety they have took that terrible towel and started stomping on it, wiping his butt with it. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's goofy, but when are people going to learn? You don't mess with the terrible towel.
Yeah, don't mess with the terrible towel. And who got into the playoffs and who didn't? Cameron Taylor.
Yeah. So keep that over there, man. You want to mess with the terrible towel? You know it's coming. Your Commanders 38-10 loss over the Cowboys. Do you have any lasting thoughts on that game or even the season as a whole as you guys kind of end it here?
Only up from here, my friend.
Hey, if you want a quarterback, you'll get one. That's the good news.
Yeah, we secured the number 2 pick in the draft somehow by starting
Ward, and we'll talk about this more as football dwindles down, but trade 2, get a few more picks. If you think 14's the guy, I don't know if he is, but if you do,
he's not the guy. Unfortunately, he is not. I thought 2 weeks ago he was the guy, but now he threw 21 interceptions this year, Cam.
A lot can change, man. A lot can change. We both thought the Eagles will get back on track against the Giants here.
And they did not.
They did not. They got beat 27-10, Ward. It's safe to say, it's nice to say that the Eagles are limping into the playoffs. And we talked about the Jags. Where did it all go wrong? I can tell you where it all went wrong for the Eagles, too. When they played the 49ers and Big Dom got kicked off the sideline.
Big Dom.
Yeah.
I think
they've either won 1 game or 0 games since Big Dom got kicked off the sideline. So I don't know. I'm just saying. And then I said,
you know how I feel about Big Dom. Screw him.
But I said I needed the Dolphins to beat the Bills. If the Titans didn't take care of business, they did not. They lost 21-14. And that was the recap of Week 18 for the super important games, I feel like. Ward, real quick, I'm going to run through who I had at the beginning of the year, who was going to win each division. You check me and tell me if I mess up here and say somebody won and they didn't.
Okay.
So for the East, I had the Bills, so that's a win.
Yep.
For the West, AFC West, I had the Chiefs. I believe they won.
Yep.
AFC South, I had the Jags. They did not. The Texans won. AFC North, I had the Steelers. They did not. They finished third and got the last wild card spot.
Yep.
Ravens won that division. NFC East, I had the Eagles. I believe the Cowboys won that one.
Yep.
NFC West, I had the 49ers. They did win that one. NFC South, I had the Saints, and they did not win the NFC South. And then the NFC North, I had the Lions, and they won.
Yep, you did. So you only missed 4. So you went, what, 50-50?
Yep, 50%.
50-50. Okay. So I got mine, Cam. Just put a tally down for everyone that I missed.
Okay.
AFC East, I took the Bills. Hit that one. AFC West, I took the Chiefs. Hit that one. AFC South, I took the Jags. Missed that one. AFC North, I took the Bengals. Missed that one. NFC East, I took the Eagles. Missed that one. NFC West, I took the Niners. Hit. NFC South, I took the Saints. Miss. NFC North, I took the Vikings. Miss. So Cam, you won by one, my friend. Congratulations.
I don't know if
I got,
either one of us won, but yeah,
golly, if you would have told me right now that you only got half the division and I only got 5 of the division people right, because you usually know football better than me. Good God.
hey, that
That was
just goes to
fast.
show you, one, if you take what we say as a listener as fact, you probably need to reevaluate while you're listening to the show all the time. But
Good God.
also
That
it
was
just goes
awesome.
to show, man, how expectations can change within a season. I thought, I watched those preseason games. I thought the Steelers would have a top 10 offense, and now we see that Mason Rudolph might be the guy.
I
Ward.
remember
So
sending y'all a Snapchat after the first drive of us in preseason. I said, we're going to suck again. And y'all were like, it's too early. It's too early. We have the number 2 pick in the draft.
yeah, so Super Wildcard weekend starts on Saturday, Ward. We're going to start it off. We'll go over picks and then any analysis you have over this game.
Yep.
The Browns travel to the Texans on Saturday. The Browns are 3-point favorites.
You me go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Usually I have something to say. I have no idea, Cam. I have absolutely no idea what the Brownies are going to do. I have no idea what the Texans are going to do. If you told me right now that the Browns and the Texans were playing in a playoff game 4 months ago, I would have told you you're smoking crack. But I have absolutely no idea, Cam. So whichever one you know what, screw it. I'll ride with the Browns. Joe Flacco has the experience. He's been there. So give me the Browns.
Dude, it's funny you say that because I've seen this Texans team up close. I think the Texans can win this football game.
Oh yeah.
I think they cover the 3. I think
Okay.
it's a close game, but dude, CJ Stroud has been incredible this
Yep.
year. They sneak into the playoffs with a huge win, and I could see them winning this football game. I'm not going to predict them to win, but I am going to predict them to cover the 3 points.
I like that. I like that.
Dolphins again limping into the playoffs a little bit. Travel to Kansas City in a game that's going to be 0 degrees at kick. Ward, Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. I'll believe somebody beats the Chiefs in Kansas City when it happens.
And also too, Dolphins coming to the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill coming back home, or coming back to his former homecoming. I think Tua has won 3 games when it's below freezing, or 2 games when it's below freezing. Tua does not play well in the cold. These Miami Dolphins is not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not all sitting on the beach and fishing and drinking Busch Light all day. You got to go and play some hard-nosed football sometimes when you get in these playoffs. These Kansas City Chiefs are ready for it. Give me the Chiefs winning and covering.
There you go. Steelers travel to the Bills.
10 points. Good God.
1 o'clock on Sunday. Bills are 10-point favorites, Ward. It's going to be a snowstorm. It's going to be a lot of 13 personnel for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bills have the worst run defense in the playoffs. Not going to be able to play that backyard football in the snow. You'll hear it on my Feeling Frisky Bet of the Week, man. Give me Steelers money line. I don't know if I told you or the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, is that right? You did say they were going to win the division. They snuck into the playoffs. So I got to listen to you. I'm on the opposite side of you. But not the opposite side. I'm on half of the opposite side of you. I think y'all are going to cover, but I do not think y'all are going to win.
Dude, I don't know if 10 points will get scored this game.
No.
I mean, I don't know. But
I might go ahead and hammer that now.
Yeah, the under is 35.5. That'll be on Bam's Bad Beats later as well. Packers go to the Cowboys. Them boys, 7.5-point favorites. I like the Packers. I like Jordan Love, but I think in the dome, the Cowboys win this game pretty handedly, probably by 2 scores. So I have them covering.
You know how the Cowboys do in the playoffs, Cam. So, I do not like the Cowboys, and every time I place a bet, I lose. Give me the Cowboys winning and covering. Give me the Cowboys winning by 30.
You know what happened the last time these two teams played in the playoffs?
The Dez Bryant catch, the helmet catch. or not the helmet catch,
The
yeah,
drop, the Des Bryant drop, because it wasn't catch for it, because they
yeah,
didn't call it a catch.
technically
So
wasn't a catch. Yeah, and then
yeah,
that Cowboys fans, we would have won the Super Bowl if the fans got that, if the refs got that right, whatever, bud.
yeah. So maybe a little bit of a
We'll see what
rematch.
happens.
Maybe history repeats itself. Maybe the Cowboys get their revenge.
Give me a good game. I'm really excited for the playoffs.
Yeah, find out on Sunday.
Yep.
Rams travel to the Lions. Matt Stafford homecoming into the Motor City in the Dome. I've told you, Novak's told everybody. Jared Goff's a different guy inside the Dome. They're 3.5-point favorites. I think they win this game and cover the Lions.
Oh, dude, Cam, I'm so sorry, but I'm the opposite. I think that Sean McVay, I think Matthew Stafford coming home, he's going to have a little trick up his sleeve. Only reason why I say this, the Lions are going to be so pumped up coming into this game and so nervous, they're not going to be able to think. They're going to be running around like a chicken with their head cut off. The perfect example, if you look at it like UFC fighting, they're going to rush and throw as many punches as they can. They're going to gas out quick. They're not going to sit back and pick out their shots. So the reason why I say that, give me the Rams winning money line. I think it's going to be a hell of a game, but the Rams have been there, and I hope the Lions win, but give me the Rams.
So, to your point, Ward, this is the Lions' first home playoff game since 1993.
That's before me and you were thought about, my friend.
That's a long time, dog.
Yeah.
That's before we were even a thought, man.
A lot of our listeners were born during that, or were alive during that time because they're all old. But the young bucks, we still got this.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say that, by the way. GG, mom, whoever's listening, I didn't say that. Last game we'll cover Eagles 3-point favorites traveling to the Bucks. That's so funny to say. Shout out Baker Mayfield, by the way, getting the $1 million bonus for making the playoffs.
Good for Baker.
I think the Eagles win this game outright, Ward, but as bad as they've been playing, man, that 3 looks like a lot.
Oh yeah. I took the Eagle. I think the Eagles bounce back here. I did have them bouncing back last week, and they got their ass kicked by the Giants. But yeah, give me the Eagles.
Do you want to go on record and say a Super Bowl matchup?
I'll go ahead and take my Super Bowl matchup right now.
Okay.
AFC. I think the way the Baltimore Ravens are playing, there's not a team in football that can beat them. Baltimore Ravens at 1. 2, Cam, I don't want to sound like I'm, riding favorites, but I do think the San Francisco 49ers have something going on in the NFC. I did think the Eagles would beat them, but the Eagles are just not playing their brand of football right now, and the 49ers kicked the heck out of the Cowboys. I think a couple teams looking at the NFC, I think the Lions could be a sneaky team, but I do like the 49ers and Super Bowl when it comes down to it, Niners, Ravens, I think that the Niners finally get it done.
Okay. I like that. I mean, that's
rant, but I do think the Niners finally get it done.
I mean, that's the one to have. I'll go a little bit off the rails here, just for content. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions, man.
I like it. Cam. That is a good. You better clip that, post that one, my friend.
Yep. Steelers win number 7. Here we go.
There we go.
College hoops, man. First kind of taste of college hoops that we've had in a long time. A dedicated segment to it. Just kind of a recap over Kentucky season, NC State season, and what's coming up. I'll start off with Kentucky, man. Number 6 team in the nation, as Ward said earlier. Huge wins at or against North Carolina on a neutral court at the CBS Classic, and then just beat Florida on the road at Florida. This team, if you want to watch fun basketball, this Kentucky team is the one to have. They put up a lot of threes. They've got 3 or 4 guys on the court at all times that can get to the rack whenever they want. 3 or 4 guys, sometimes 5, that can shoot the 3 ball. Great kind of blend of young talent that are a bunch of lottery picks, and then older guys, seniors and juniors that have been around the program or been around college basketball. I've got a lot of money on this team to win the national championship award. So kind of hyping them up a little bit. Just beat Mizzou at home. I think they're the 3rd highest scoring team in college basketball, the 1st in Power 5. They play at the fastest pace in college basketball. So super fun Kentucky team. They remind me of the Rick Pitino teams, honestly, the late 90s. So
I like it,
uh,
Cam. You're confident
super
in your
excited
team.
to see this. Huh?
You're nothing wrong with that. You're confident.
Yeah, I
Confident,
love
not
it.
cocky. So get it right.
Yes, sir.
Get it
Yes, sir.
right, Cam. I'm not as confident in my team. The NC State Wolfpack led, a wolf. Every wolf has a leader in the pack, and that
Yep.
leader is DJ Burns. DJ
Yep.
Burns is him. And
Yep.
anyway, DJ Burns put on a show against those UVA Hoosiers or whatever they're called. The
Cavaliers.
Cavaliers. There we go. I was thinking of Indiana. I don't know why I said Hoosiers, but anyway, tonight we play the North Carolina Tar Heels, and watch out for DJ Burns. That Anthony Baycott guy they have, that's 30 years old, that somehow still is playing college basketball. I think he's on the. I think Anthony Baycott right now is on the North Carolina academic. He's getting the liberal arts degree at North Carolina. He probably can't even say his ABCs, but anyway, he's going to need his ABCs tonight when DJ Burns is doing a lot of spinning and churning and using his inside post moves and getting to the rack. So, yeah, Cam, I'm a big Wolfpack guy, so go Wolf Pack.
Pack going to win tonight?
The Pack are going to win tonight. We don't lose
Okay.
Carolina.
I do want to go on record. It's Armando Baycott, not Anthony Baycott. DJ Burns. I love DJ Burns, man. One gripe I have with DJ Burns, and I don't even think it's on him as much as whoever runs the NC State Athletics website. He's listed at 6'9", 275, Ward.
He lost a lot of weight.
He may have lost a lot of weight. He ain't 275, dog. He would. I mean, respectfully,
he lost a lot of weight.
Respectfully, he's closer. He's a lot closer to 400 than he is to 275. A lot closer. But I love his game, and he reminds me of old school big.
Yeah, he's in shape. I can tell you that.
I need to see one matchup I'd love to see is him and oh Lord, I'm forgetting his name now. BJ Mack at South Carolina. Yeah. Two big burly guys, both from the Charlotte area, by the way. I watched both of them in high school. They both graduated our same year, Ward. But yeah, DJ Burns, super fun to watch. I'm gonna be honest with you, I couldn't name another guy on the NC State Wolfpack.
There's a few of them, but DJ Burns is the leader of the pack. But anyway, Cam, I do I forgot to tell you this. Calipari, that big basketball tournament my uncle runs, the John Wall Invitational. Yep. They had a huge turnout this year. It's one of the best turnouts they've had in recent years. Calipari was there. Duke's head coach was there. Carolina's coach was there. Who else? UVA's coach came down. State's coach was there. They have one more big guy there. I can't remember who it was. Oh, it was Rick Barnes was there.
Okay.
Rick Barnes.
I think Bill Self came for a day as well.
He probably did. They always have the big. My brother got to meet a bunch of them. He went, but yeah, man, which was pretty cool. But anyway, Cam, let's move forward.
Real quick.
No,
my
bad.
I want to give a shout out to the Wingate Bulldogs basketball team. I will be in attendance tonight. Our boy, friend of the program, El Spring, is a GA on staff at Wingate for basketball. So going to go support the boys and super excited to see what they got. They're playing Catawba tonight, I think, for first place in the SAC. So super excited. I'll get back next week and report how our Bulldogs did. But yeah, Ward, as we kind of wrap up the show, man, we got picks. I'll start us off with Bam's Bad Beats. As I said earlier, Steelers Bills over under is set at 35.5. That's about like an Iowa under for me. That's automatic. Yeah. Chiefs minus 3.5 is a lock to me. And then Lions minus 3.5, I think again is a pretty fair cover play here, especially in the dome. I had these two from last night, but I do want to showcase that they hit because I typed this up yesterday. I had Kentucky and Missouri hitting the over of 159.5. That hit at with 4 minutes left in the game. Mm-hmm. Duke, I had -5 over Pitt, and they won by 20. And then again, Phil and Frisky pick of the week. Steelers money lines at plus 390, so basically 4-1. Yeah, those are my picks. Starting off 2-0.
I like it, Cam. I like it, brother. So let me go here. Let me run through the Fade Wade picks of the week real quick. One, I'm going to start out NC State plus 3.5. Hammer it. We play the Tar Heels tonight, so hammer that plus 3.5. Not sure why we're not the minus 3.5, but anyway, conversation for another day. I do think the Eagles bounce back against the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are led by a new quarterback to their system, Baker Mayfield. Don't think they have what it takes to beat the Eagles. Kansas City Chiefs, we've already talked about it. Tua cannot win, and the Dolphins cannot win in cold weather. So give me the Chiefs winning. We've already talked about this too. Give me the Rams plus 3.5 going to Detroit. And give me the Browns money line, Cam. I think I like the Browns. Scary game, but give me the Browns. And my last but not least, my feeling frisky pick of the week, Cam. A couple insider sources that I follow. Washington Commanders take Caleb Williams at plus 600. Hammer it. Put the paycheck on.
I as a man who has a the Field versus Caleb Williams ticket, I hope so. I hope he drops the 2 because that would be a good payday for your boy.
If he drops the 2, Commanders are taking him. He's the only quarterback. If we're taking a quarterback, we better take him. If we're not taking him, I don't want another quarterback.
Yeah, and I know we kind of set this one to the side until after game balls, but empty stomach this week. I'm gonna go with the North Carolina. Any politician in North Carolina. We were supposed to have sports betting today, Ward, and we do not have it. So, fans' fat takes. I don't have anything written down here, but shout out Justin Alford. He's by far the person who interacts with us the most. We love him to death. He's awesome.
Shout out Justin.
Happy
belated birthday, Justin. By the way, it was his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Awesome. I don't have a pet peeve of the week, Ward. Too blessed to be stressed. How about you?
Too blessed to be stressed. Too blessed to be stressed, Cam.
Love it. That was episode 38 of the Fat Katz Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. Before you get out of here, again, Spotify, YouTube, just type in the Fat Katz Podcast, Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. Tell somebody about us. If you're in the car and somebody asks who you're listening to, tell them these 2 beautiful voices, Big Cam and Big Wade. Drop your first favorite forgotten in any comment section or text us, whatever you want to do. But super, super thankful for all our listeners and Wade for all he does.
Cam, hell of a podcast, brother. And hey, nobody's listening right now. Do you want me to drop this tonight or do me drop this first thing 8 a.m. tomorrow morning? Because I can do like a schedule release so we can build some hype behind it. Or we can drop first thing tonight. Your call.
Let's do it tonight because I will forget to post if I don't do it right now.
Let's do it tonight. Hey, have fun at the Wingate game. Go Bulldogs.
Yes, sir. Go Dogs.
All right, brother.
Peace.